So for carbohydrates, how we want to think about them, I know different things have been told to us in science, but carbohydrates are basically something that your body needs, okay, to give you energy. And I want you guys to think about it like a building block. So when I say building block, I mean something that's essential. You can't build a building without a building block, without a brick, right? So there are people who say, oh, I just cut carbs. I skip carbs for like the next 6 months and then I lose weight. You will lose weight. But after a while, your body might start to crumble for various reasons. It's kind of like a building. Like if you take out the bricks, yeah, it's going to lose some height, but you're also not going to have a building left for much longer after that. So you want to think about carbs like something that's necessary, but something that has to be done right. So you can't eat like 8 loaves of bread or 8 slices of bread at a meal and say, yeah, I ate well, I ate good carbs. 8 slices of bread is not good carbs. So, okay, so what is good carbs, right? So later I'll be touching on examples of each of these food groups, but depending on which part of the world you're in, good carbs are different for you. So in Canada, cookies in Canada, so you might have different bunch of carbs over there that people in Mumbai have not even heard about. They don't even know what that is. Same for people in Singapore. Like I've never heard of some of the things when I went to Canada. And in Mumbai, you might have like a special kind of chapati or a special kind of roti or something where, again, people like me would have never heard about that. So you have to go geographically based on where you guys are and pick the best fit for you, okay? So carbohydrates, I do not want you guys to cut them out unless you're at risk of a heart attack or something, and your doctor says if you eat carbs for the next 6 weeks, you're going to die. Okay, then you cut them out. But if not, don't cut out carbs. Okay, I want you guys to put a little bit of carbs in there. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is proteins. So basically muscles sculpt your body, right? So bones don't really sculpt your body, and fats don't really sculpt your body unless you have too many, and dead skin doesn't really sculpt your body. So what sculpts your body is muscles. And for your muscles to grow and remain at the stage that you've grown them to and maintain there, we need proteins, okay? So those of you who are vegetarians, we'll talk further in your one-on-one calls about how you're gonna get your protein. But those of you who are not, you have to keep the protein content up, okay? The next thing is vegetables, right? So since this is a little bit of a holistic course, I want you guys to think of vegetables as energy also, but a different kind of energy than carbohydrates, okay? So carbohydrates is kind of what keeps your engine chugging, but vegetables is more like something almost spiritual in a sense, because just think of them as having a very high life force energy, okay? Something that affects your immunity, something that affects your well-being, something that affects your skin. It affects things in your body in places you can't really see. So there's a lot of bodybuilders who won't eat vegetables. The best ones will, of course. They will, hyperload on like broccoli and things like that. But there's many who won't. The middle level people who don't really know what they're doing in the bodybuilding industry, they will not eat vegetables, and that's a problem. So, how often have you heard somebody say, I had a heart attack because I ate too much broccoli, right? So these are things we need. We need vegetables, and that's non-negotiable, just like the protein, okay? These two things your body has to have, all right? Okay, lastly, liquids. So this is another big one. Actually, all these are big ones. Without any of these, you're quite screwed. So to put it simply, okay? So for liquids, you got to think of them. For me, I'm a very practical person, so I think of it practically. So if 70% of my cell's body is water, and I don't put in water, how am I having a natural body? I'm not. It's simple. We need to keep the body fluid. This is a water planet, okay? This is another non-negotiable. There's just no such thing as I have a great body, but I forgot to drink water today. People forget to drink water, don't have great bodies. It's just very simple. And water is just one of the liquids. There's other liquids. There's juices. There's coconut water. There is a smoothie recipe, which I'm going to teach you guys today. So you have to keep your body hydrated all day. If that day you can't eat food, it's fine. But if that day you can't drink water, we're in a bit of a fix, because your cells are only going to function if your body has enough liquid. And so that's non-negotiable. Okay, next slide. So fruits give you a lot of vitamins and minerals, but they also give sugar. People who say I'm going on a fruit cleanse or a vegetable cleanse, that's good. That's good, that's fine. But you can't do that all year round, because you will realize there are people who say, there are ladies, but in particular, I don't know why it's ladies, but a lot of older ladies I've spoken to, they say, yeah, I eat fruits all day and I'm out of shape. That's probably because you're having too much sugar. So fruits have sugar, a lot of sugar. Some of them have less sugar, some of them more, of course. Every fruit is different. So I would say over here it says 2 to 3 a day would be good, but not any more than that, unless it's a special day or a party or something, that's fine. Okay, then we have nuts and seeds. So these are also great because if you can't have like protein shakes, which give you too much gas and so on, which I don't recommend having anyway, nuts are good because they have a lot of things inside that crosses all the earlier groups. They have vitamins, sometimes they have a little bit of carbs, they have fats, some of them have protein. It's almost like a little superfood. And some of them are also very delicious. So make sure you don't eat too many. I would recommend a few nuts a day, not more than 10 if they are sizable nuts like almonds or cashews and so on. If they're tiny chia seeds or flax seeds or whatever, eat as many as you want, that's fine. Also, they tend to dehydrate you because they're packed full of nutrients. So remember, every time you put nutrients into your body, you need water to let your cells do the work, okay? So nuts are going to dehydrate you. Anything nutrient dense is kind of going to dehydrate you. Protein shakes, protein bars, these are all very dehydrating substances. Coffee is a big debate, so let's not go there right now. Next thing, pills, powders, medicines, and protein powders. I think every family has this where 1 or 2 members, older members, they have these like boxes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they pop their pills, and that's not a good sign, right? And they, of course, even they know it's not a good sign. So that's good news. Everyone's on the same page at least. So we want to try not to do that unless these are pills and powders made out of superfoods. So if you find like, I found this pill, which is by a very natural produced company. They've literally just dried up chlorella and blueberries and acai berry and this and that and put it into a pill. Okay, that's a different kind of pill then. That pill is okay. This is a different kind of pill we're talking about. This is like, I'll give you extra vitamin K and I'll give you extra vitamin B12 and give you extra this and that and this and that. But that's for people who can't already get it from their foods. So if you have access to fresh food, you don't need these. You might if you have a medical condition, but our aim is to try and veer away from these eventually. The more unnatural you try to get, the more unnatural you'll get. So it's up to you whether you want a natural body or an unnatural one. Okay, then we have seasoning. So some spices are great for all-round health, like pepper, and a whole bunch of other, everyone here is more or less linked to India in some way, so you all know what spices are, that's good. But then we also have seasoning like salt. That's really unhealthy if you have too much. And it's very easy to have too much because sometimes the seasoning is hidden. So if you have a party or something and you have a bowl of chips, it seems like on the good side it's just potato, which is good as carbs because if you're exercising, you need carbs. On the bad side, the amount of salt you've had in that bowl of chips is messed up your body for the next 3 days. If you think of your body as a fine balance, it's completely screwed it up, okay? So be careful about that. So additional notes, potatoes are not vegetables. Let me be straight with you. So my mom and some of my helpers at home, they always, I ask them in Hindi, like, so like, aaj aapne kya banaya hai, right? And then they're like, something aloo. And I was like, aloo is not a vegetable. So today for lunch, I have no vegetables actually. It's a whole bunch of aloo and like a couple of leaves here and there. And they're like, that's the vegetable. And like, that's not the vegetable, that's the carbs. And on top of that, they have chapati and they have rice. So that's a carb overload. And then everyone's wondering, why is our tummy coming out? It's because of this. So you need to plan it properly. Treat potato as something that provides carbohydrates. It is a plant, yes, but it provides a lot of carbohydrates. Then dals and beans. Dals and beans are good for protein, but I was reading online quite extensively the past 6 months. The actual dal seed and the beans, if you consume them just dry, yes, they have some protein, but once you start to wash them, once you start to dilute them, if this is a bowl of dal, the actual amount of seeds is like this much. So you think you're having so much protein, but actually only having this, and even that only has a bit of protein. So really in a bowl of dal, you're having like this much protein, which is, that's not protein. So we really have to start thinking, and we really need to start sourcing for food that actually has protein. And you want to have your dal diluted, so more thick. So you can have cheese, tofu, nuts, curd, soy. If you have a mix of these and you're vegetarian, so you want to try getting your protein from different sources, okay? Now, peanut butter is not the same as 3 almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and peanuts. So if you have these 12 at one shot in a mouthful, you might be better off than having a teaspoon of peanut butter. A lot of bodybuilders and people, they just say, oh, I just had peanut butter, it's great for me, it's got peanuts, it's got fats. But you have to understand the amount of work that they're doing on a daily basis is a lot of work. So all these calories just get replenished by the peanut butter, and they get the added benefit of peanuts. But if you're not doing a lot of exercise, then eating peanut butter is not the same as eating the nuts. It's two different things, okay? So we want to go as natural as possible.